Good morning, dear students. In this video, we will start up with the module third. In that, the first committee recommendation I am going to deal with in this video, that is uh, Cadbury committee recommendations. Okay. So the Cadbury committee report on corporate governance, how they have made a certain recommendations, we will going to see in this PPT, okay, or in this video we will be going to see this. So introduction about this committee. Basically, the Cadbury committee was set up in May 1991 by the Financial Reporting Council of the London Stock Exchange. Okay, this committee, it was set up by the London Stock Exchange, that to Financial Reporting Council, in the year of 1991, and the committee published its report in December 1992. Actually, it's been proposed in May 1991. That is, committee was set up in 1991, but certain reports have been published in December 1992. And Adrian Cadbury is the chairman of the Cadbury committee. The report sets out recommendations on the arrangement of company boards and accounting systems to mitigate corporate governance risks and failures. Basically, this committee's recommendation will be going was on the certain recommendations on the arrangement of the company boards, that is how the board constitution need to be done in the organization. So regarding to that, certain recommendations have been made through the Adrian Cadbury and members of this committee, and certain accounting systems, how to mitigate with the risks associated with the business transactions. It may be different kinds of risks are there, like systematic risk, unsystematic risk. In systematic in systematic risk itself, the business risk, marketing risk, and interest rate risk, these are all different kinds of risks will be going to associated with the organization, no? So along with those risks, how the from those are all the risks, how the failures will be going to happen for the organization. It was certain recommendations was made in this committee, that is a Cadbury committee. Okay, and this Cadbury committee's recommendations are on these four recommendations, that is ಅಂದರೆ ಆಡ್ರಿಯನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಡ್ಬರಿ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಅವರ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ 4 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ಸ್, role of non-executive directors, dealing with their remunerations, addressing questions of financial reporting and financial controls. Okay, so we'll see one by one now. Okay, these are all the four recommendations was been made by the Cadbury committee. Okay, basically committee means it's a group of members who are gathered together in order to perform a certain task. Assigned task will be there, through which they will be going to perform certain actions towards the towards any certain specified goals. Okay, so first recommendation, it is regarding with the role of board of directors, duties of the board and its compositions. Okay, that is, in that the board should meet regularly. Okay, that is board members, whoever it will be there, no, they need to meet regularly, whatever the modifications required or whatever the kind of a transactions are going to happen in the organization. In order to know all these are all the things, the board members need to meet regularly. Okay, that is the different story, that is annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, special general meetings. In those are all activities the board of members will be going to meet, but still they need to know about the daily activities of the organization as well. what's happening in the organization, it is also matters most. Okay, so that is what it also need to be done by the every directors of the company. This is the recommendation made by the Cadbury committee. Okay, and the second recommendation, this is the board should include non-executive directors of sufficient caliber. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈ 1992 ಇಂದ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಈ ಕಮಿಟಿಯವರು, ಕ್ಯಾಡ್ಬರಿ ಕಮಿಟಿಯವರು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಟು ದ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ. Okay, whatever the kind of advisors or services need to be provided by the directors to the company secretaries of the company. Okay, company secretaries ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರೀಸಿಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಆಸ್ ಅ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆಲ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಟು ದ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ company secretary. Okay, whatever the kind of advices it is given by the directors, they all, that is the company secretaries, need to follow those. Okay, these are all regarding the first recommendations regarding with the role of board of directors, that is duties of the board and its composition. Okay, next regarding with the role of non-executive directors, that is as a non-executive directors how they will be going to perform in the organization. For that also this Cadbury committee was made on certain recommendations. Those recommendations are become as the rule or rule implications in the companies. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಇವರು ಸರ್ಟನ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ನು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಂದ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಂದ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪನೀಸವರು ಕೂಡ ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ನೌ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸ್. Okay, non-executive directors should bring an independent judgment because they are the outsiders. Okay, that is what they need to bring certain independent judgment. Okay, ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಂದ ನಮಗೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫೇವರಿಸಮ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ರೀಸನಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಈ ಕಮಿಟಿ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ specified terms. As I already said to you, the non-executive directors will be of 1 year term or it may be for 3 months. Okay, that is based on the types of directors I have told you. The tenure will be very less. Okay, and non-executive directors should be selected through a formal process. Okay, executive directors are the permanent employees of the organization, they will be selected. Okay, but non-executive directors need to be elected through a proper channelization or proper voting system based on which the non-executive directors need to be framed in the organization. Okay, this is regarding the second provision. The third which is relating to the dealing with their remunerations. Okay, it may be remuneration regarding with the directors only. Okay, it recommended that the future service contract should not exceed 3 years without shareholders. Okay, whatever the future contracts will be there, future service contracts ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ 3 years ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗದಲೇ, ಓಕೆ 3 years ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸು ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀಬಾರ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಥರ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನನ್ನು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ there will be no any remuneration at all. It recommended that future service contract should not exceed 3 years without shareholders. Okay. And second is the remuneration of directors should be both fair and competitive. That is based on the skill and the task what they are going to perform in the organization, based on which the remuneration need to be fixed for the directors. Okay, without which of they don't have the caliber and they don't have the talent and they don't perform the task very well, but still they are having with a handsome salary antandre, then it's not fine. Okay, based on the skills and talents what they have possessed, based on which the remuneration need to be paid for the directors. Okay, next is the annual general meeting provides the opportunity for the shareholders. Okay, in the annual general meeting, that is shareholders are the internal parties for the organization, in which the shareholders will get the voting chance, and as well as they have the talkative. Okay, certain suggestions they can provide for the company in order to give certain glimpse, okay, regarding any modifications required. Then they can suggest for the board. Okay, based on the shareholders suggestions and the stakeholders suggestions, the shareholders will be going to take the decisions as well. Okay, this is regarding the third provision. And fourth one, it is addressing questions of financial reporting and financial controls. Okay, this is very simple, that whenever the financial reporting or whenever the statement of a financial reports will be going to done, at that situation what are all the recommendations have been made with this committee, we'll see it now. It is the board's duty to present an assessment, right? So as a board members, they need to present the financial statements to the general public and the stakeholders and the shareholders as well, and for the employees as well. Okay, so that is what we will see it as the disclosure practices in the organization. Okay, whatever the kind of transactions will be going to happen in the organization, no, those are all need to be disclosed to the general public, whatever the kind of a issue may be. Okay, it need to be disclosed to the general public and as well as for the shareholders. Okay, and next is relating to the professional relationship is maintained with the auditors. Okay, as a director, they need not to have the personal relationships, they need to have the professional relationships. Okay, that is whatever the kind of duties have been assigned by the directors to the auditors, it need to be fulfilled within a time. Okay, and next is establish an audit committee. As usual, in the module 5th itself I have told you, the audit committee whose paid up share capital and turnover and the outstanding loans debentures, based on that criteria, whoever the company belongs to that criteria, all they need to constitute the mandatory committee of audit committee in the company compulsorily. Okay, this is regarding the fourth one. And continuation to that, the director should explain their responsibility for preparing the accounts. Okay, ಅಂದರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸು ಏನು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸನ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳು, ಆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟನ್ನು ಅವರು ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಜನರಲ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮುಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಹೇಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, with of the proper proof or the evidence what they have been made for the transaction. Okay, through which they can prepare the accounts. That is, by having the proper evidence or the proof, they can prepare the accounts, and it need to be, it is their responsibility. Okay, whenever the account the statement of accounts will be prepared, they need to follow certain ethics in that. Okay, and next is the director should report on the effectiveness of the company's system of internal control. That is, internal control means In audit committee's recommendations itself, I have told you that is the daily operating activities of the organization, how they are carrying out. That is what is the cash inflows and what is the cash outflows, and what kind of a budgeting they are following. Okay, and how much the purchase has been made and how much the sales has been made. Okay, so these are all things need to be verified by the directors. Okay, and the next recommendation is the director should report that the business is a going concern. Okay, always this is also one of the concept, right, accounting concept, that is going concern. That is, business will be the having with a perpetual succession. Okay, it will not stops at any point of a time. No, on the assumption basis ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ರನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, and these are all the certain recommendations with relation to the 4 points. Okay, you need to remember. Okay, so next, what I have been made, in a sense, I have been collaborated all these things and certain summary of the recommendations I have did. Okay, but in exam you need to write these 4 points. Okay, whatever the changes or whatever the kind of sub points are there, you need to mention those. That is, the major recommendations are: a single person should not be vested with a decision making power. Okay, that is, whoever the single person will be there, they don't have the decision making power, because the single person cannot judge properly. Without proper discussion with the 5 to 6 members, if we are going to take the decisions, then suggestions will come for that. Okay, based on the proper suggestions and the alternatives available, based on which we can judge the matters very easily. Okay, if we are going to consider only one person's judgment, then it will be biased one. Okay, and next is, the non-executive directors should act independently. That is, they are the outsiders of the organization, and of course they need to act as the independently. Okay, and a majority of directors should be independent non-executive directors. Independent directors are the non-executive directors, and in the board constitution also, the independent directors proportionate need to be more. Okay, and next is, the term of the directors can be extended beyond 3 years only after the prior approval of the shareholders. Okay, the term of the directors, for any director it may be, but managing director 5 years, but this recommendations were given in 1992, so that's what 3 years ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ term will be for only 3 years as per this recommendations. If it need to cross, in the sense, then the prior approval is required from the shareholders. Okay, shareholders means the internal parties. So if the approval it's been given by the shareholders, then the directors term will be going to be extended after 3 years also. The persons, the single person whoever is holding that position, he can continue or she can continue that post for 4th year also, if the prior approval has been given by the shareholders. Okay, and next is, a remuneration committee with majority of non-executive directors should decide on the pay of the executive directors. Okay, ಸೊ ಎ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಅವರು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿಲಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ extra salary what they are having with the extra board person, that is their additional responsibility, right? ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು 5 ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 4 ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಥವಾ 3 ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಈ ಥರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ non-executive directors by the remuneration committee. Okay, and next is the interim company report should give the balance sheet information and reviewed by the auditor. That is 6 months once the company need to prepare the financial statements of accounts and it need to be approved by the auditor of the company. Okay, next is the information regarding the audit fee should be made public and there should be regular rotation of the auditors. Okay, so whatever the kind of a reports it's been going to prepared by the auditors, for that the audit fee will be there for them. Okay, and along with that the auditors need to prepare the accounts and the board of directors need to disclose it to the general public in the proper way through websites or through publishing any pamphlets. Okay, through this, and there should be regular rotation of the auditors. That is, the auditor's term will not be fixed. Okay, if the auditor's report is not good, then the rotation will be there. Okay, the same person will not be going to audit for continuously in some of the organization, but in some of the organization the same person will be auditor from so many years. Okay, that's the different story. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಟೈಮ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಿಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ರೀಸನಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ಓಕೆ, and next is an objective and professional relationship with the auditors must be ensured. Okay, ಸೊ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷ್ನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಶಿಪ್ಪನ್ನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಂದನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಎ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ going concern concept. Okay, always the business need to be the continuous or it is having the perpetual succession, right? ಸೊ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಆ ಒಂದು ರೀಸನಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಎ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, so these are all the different recommendations which have been which was made in the Cadbury committee, and it was set up in 1991, and it disclosed the recommendations on in 1992, and this Cadbury committee's chairperson will be the Adrian Cadbury. Okay, and it was set up by London Stock Exchange Council. Okay, so you need to remember these points, and along with these are all the different recommendations. Okay, conclusion for this, the compliance with a code of best practice was not enforced and it was not mandatory as well. However, many firms conformed because they did not want to fall victim to the destructive consequences resulting from the disregard of the corporate governance. ಓಕೆ, ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಗವರ್ನೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪೆನಾಲ್ಟೀಸ್ಗಳು ಇಂಪೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ರೀಸನಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್, ಮಾರಲ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ ಇನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ದೆನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅರೈಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಇಂದ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೀವು ಈ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ how the provisions have been made in the Companies Act. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈಗ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ಗಳಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಈ ಥರ ಕಮಿಟೀಸ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳೇ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಇಯರ್ ಟು ಇಯರ್ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೇನು ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಏನು 1 ಇಯರಿಂದ 1 ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಥರ ಕಮಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಕಮಿಟೀಸ್ ಅವರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವೈಸೇಷನನ್ನು ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕಮಿಟಿಯವರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಷನ್ಸನ್ನು ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ recommendations of the committees. Okay, so in this video I have done with the Cadbury committee recommendations. Okay, and please subscribe for my channel for the next video. Thank you.